Okay, so this is a little bit different type of video I'm doing because I can't seem to find the little grip mount for my cell phone to put on a tripod, so I'm kind of doing the sort of freeform style. So anyway, I'm comparing how a monitor looks on your desk like this as compared to something like this. Notice how there's a lot more clearance under the desk than there is on this. Well, this monitor is going to get the same treatment as this monitor. How is that, do you ask? Well, with one of these. This is the EVEO full motion single monitor mount. I have never had one of these in my home before. They have something similar to that where I work out, only it's more like a dual arm mount. But since I have big monitors, these fit the bill just fine because mainly it's because if you notice on my desk, the monitor is actually sitting on two tables side by side. So dual arm mount won't work, especially for monitors of this size. So stick around and we'll show you how this is all set up. Okay, so welcome back here. So this is the one that went to the one I already, come on autofocus. This is the one that went to the one I already put together, so that one's an empty box. Although, I'll show you on the back, it gives you details as far as what all it comes with. It comes with basically everything that you need, except for one little thing. You do need a Phillips head screwdriver in order to remove the mounting on the back of your existing monitor. So, what all does it come with? Well, alright. So here are the deets. Here are the details. So you have your bracket, which this adjusts so it'll clamp underneath your table. There is also a separate way of being able to mount this by going through a hole and then utilizing, let's see, where is it? Basically, it comes with a long bolt and a plate that you can use to go through this, and then otherwise you just use this. Here's the cover for this for your tools on the back of the monitor mount. This is the actual tool. Actually, I've got one of these already open. It looks like this, which is kind of cool because it's, not only branded, but you can operate it two ways. You can either twist like this, or you can twist like this, depending on how you need to turn it. And this will come in very handy for your adjusting, because you'll have to stick it down in here in order to adjust the screw to the desk. All right, so the bottom section. This is the bottom part. This will actually stick onto here. And then this also has a convenient little cable management area that you stick your cables in here. And then you just slide that back on there. And it just slaps back on. Easy as you please. Just like that. Cable routing. And then the other part is this part. This is the heavy duty part. This is the part that goes into the top. As you can see, this is where the mounting goes to. This is where the gas spring is in. And you notice that there's a thing on the back that you can use to adjust whether you're going to add tension or remove tension. So you turn it one way or the other, and that will determine how much springiness this arm has. And this here is the Vesa mount. That'll go to your back of your monitor. This comes in handy. And then there's also some additional screws in here. We'll only be using these thumb screws because these are the ones that will attach to the back of the monitor. This is how it works for my monitor. So yours may differ, so that's why they have, I think these ones here are true if you want to limit the amount of rotation on the two sections. That's why it has the screws and the washers for that. So it includes all of that. But the only tool you really need, except for a Phillips head screwdriver, is literally this tool. This is really all you need for this. All right, let's bring the monitor down. I'll show you how the teardown works. Okay, so I've got my HP monitor laid here on my nice soft bed because, you know, I don't want to scratch the screen. So anyway, what you do, as far as getting this off, is you have to take off this back piece. And you'll see here there's 4 screws. There's one here, one here, one here, and one here. So we're just going to take these out. Because these are what hold this base on here. And once you have that done, all you do is just take that out. Look at that foot. It's a lot of real estate. We can do better than that. Okay, now HP does include this little thing. This is a Vesa mounting adapter. So this basically just goes like this. Mounts right in there. I can't do this one-handed, so we'll come back after I finish attaching that. Okay, so this is on here. This adapter is supplied with the monitor that I got, so you'll have to check with the monitor specifications for the one that you get. This one comes with an adapter. So what we can do, as all I have to do now, is take a little Vesa plate. Be sure to line up top to top. And it just lines up just like so. Okay, so this is going to fit back here. And it's going to fit a little bit further down. And then once it's secure in place, I'm going to take that little tool. I'd probably put it right, let's say probably about right there. You want to make sure there's enough lip on your table to mount that. All I gotta do is take our little tool. And it literally just snugs down. So you feel like it's not going to go anywhere. And that's literally all I got to do with that. Take my little camera cord from my webcam over here. So now that's in place. Now all I gotta do is take the next part that literally just goes right on there, just like that. And then you take a main gas spring, and quite literally, that's all there is to it. So what you may have to do is you may have to adjust this one side or another to how you're going to have your monitor at. And then you also have to, what you also have to do is adjust this tension on the back. If you have a larger monitor, I recommend torquing this down more, so that way it'll have more tension to lift up, because I had to put quite a bit to raise this one up. So we're going to attach the monitor to this. Going to run the cables up through this bottom channel like this, and then we'll be back. Okay, so what I did was I took my power and HDMI cords, I ran them up through here, up into this loop, so that way they come up right near the top where the monitor's going to come in, and then they'll be all nice, neat, and cable managed up through here. So that's how this little cable channel works. So the bottom part of this slides out, and then you can put them up through there, and then it goes up through this little loopy thing up here, and then it goes out to your monitor. Kind of nice and tidy how they do that. Okay, so I've got the monitors set up here. I kind of released it from the top loop, as I need a little bit more freedom of movement. However, monitors sit fine. I did have to torque these down quite a bit on the tension arm to get them to not droop all the way down, because these are really heavy monitors, and these are quite heavy monitors, and I didn't want them to sag all the way down. So as you can see, I've got the power on. Let's see. Okay, so I've got the power on, and now it comes on. So now, if you look at my setup, the screens are quite a bit higher than what they were before. Of course, now with their positioning, I've got to move the boom from my mic over just a touch to kind of sit in between, so that way it'll not bump up against that screen. But I have a lot more real estate down here, so that way I can have space for like my consoles, and I'm going to rewire my capture, my HD60S. Going to get that rewired, going to get that dusted underneath there, put my consoles under there, have my keyboards up front, so it'll all be nice, all set, all clean. So I'll come back with some final B-roll shots and show you how it's all gonna look when all said and done. Okay guys, so now you know how I have my setups done up for all my live streaming, video editing, and gaming. And one of the cool things about doing it this way is one of the things you can do is, say like if I want to have my camera facing more that way, now all I have to do is I just take this monitor, I can extend this out, turn it this way, move the microphone up. Here, just extend this out a little bit more, and then pivot And you see how that adds the extra degree, so that way, if I want to, all I have to do is sit over here, over on this side, look that way, see my game capture on here, and my camera's more facing this way. So that way I don't have to have an extra tripod for my C920. Now, if that ever changes and I do decide to get like an Elgato Cam Link or something of that nature, then I can do that. And then once I'm done, I just reposition it back to where I had it before. And since these are on suspension arms, nothing is lost as far as space underneath. So I still have all the space down below for things like my consoles, my Stream Deck, my speakers, and everything is clean. All the cords are kind of tucked up back in there. It's not exactly perfect. However, it is a lot better than it was when I was basically had them down on monitor stands, because basically what I had was before I put these on these suspension arms, I had like no real estate underneath it where I could really tuck the console, so that way, you know, things had to be more spread out. I couldn't condense everything all together to where I wanted it to be. So now all I gotta do is just put them there. They're all set to go. I have the speakers in place for when I want to have stuff that's, you know, not using my headphones, or I can switch to my headphones for like when I'm doing my live streaming and stuff. So it's a very versatile setup, and if you can get them, I mean, these are the EVEO, I don't know if it's pronounced EVEO, but they're EVEO monitor arms, and if you have larger monitors up to 32-inch, they do make them for that. However, the thing I realized is that you have to really tighten the torque, especially on the pivot arm, the pivot part, otherwise it will go forward. So you have to really crank on that. Same thing with the main spring on the upper part. I mean, you gotta really wind that sucker. And the nice thing is that they include one of these little tools for each of them. So that way you can do it either way. So I just wanted to show you the difference between how I had it before and how I have it now. And like I said, these things will not only turn, they'll turn like 180 degrees, they'll turn this way, plus they'll go up and down, and they'll move around quite a bit. So it does give you that option, so where if you want to position them differently, you absolutely can. So that's my recommendation as far as, you know, what kinds of things that you can do with a larger monitor up to a certain point. Now, if you have monitors that are larger than 32 inches, these are not the monitor stands for you. These are not the monitor arms. You want something more robust, or you want some kind of a different setup, or even, you know, probably wall mount them if you want to. But this works for me. This does what I want to, and I'm happy with it. So anyway, just a short video giving you a spin around the studio, seeing how things change. So catch y'all next time. Live well, be random, and we will see you in the next one.